I get a lot of people asking me how we were blessed to walk away from corporate America in our early 30s. Well, listen, I don't want to keep that a secret. I want to share it with the world. And so maybe you're listening to this podcast and you're trying to figure out, how do I even get started on my journey of entrepreneurship and getting to a level of freedom? Well, text the word freedom to 737-777 9909. Enter your information in, and we look forward to sharing some information with you. A proven system with small overhead, right? That you can do part-time, spare time, right from the comfort of your home, and have amazing mentors, coaches, and a community of entrepreneurs who are willing to support you and help you on your journey to freedom. Welcome to Code Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales. Have you ever felt stuck? Have you ever felt like there's got to be more than life than the reality that you see every day? Tune in weekly, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays as we crack the codes to freedom in every area of your life. Welcome to Code Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales, and this is episode 114. And today's a really special day because today is actually my anniversary of my entrepreneurial journey. And of course, I did start other businesses prior to today, but it was 19 years ago, 2002, October 14th, that I started my current business that I'm involved with, that I've been with for 19 years. Like, I mean, it just blows my mind. That's like over half of my life, right? And I've been involved with one company, building from home, and just having a lot of great success, but having a lot of fun at the same time. But more than anything, my whole goal is impact. I want to impact more lives than ever before, and I'm more excited now than I was when I got started. I'm just excited about what the future holds, what's to come. And today, as a special episode, I just wanted to just come on and just kind of share some experiences that I've had. I've had lots of ups and downs. I've had lots of failures, but I've had lots of successes. Like for instance, our organization's been paid close to $2 million. We have a young lady in our organization that had made a six-figure income, was able to pay her mortgage off. Now, they have rental properties and they're just doing incredible. Was before that, she was a piano teacher. The husband is an engineer still, right? And another couple in our organization, I mean, was able to put three daughters through school. Matter of fact, you guys know them. They were on just a few episodes ago, Mr. David Quattlebaum. I got to get the other couple on the show. I'm really excited too because I got a lot of great guests lined up for you all that I think are going to be really impactful for you. But this just grateful. I mean, I think we blessed over 16,000 families, directly through our organization, through our personal organization. In the endeavor that we're involved with, and I'm not here to just throw out numbers and stuff like that, but I just wanted to share that, like, when you stick and stay, you'll get your pay. And I can tell you there were many down seasons in my business and in my journey, right? Many down seasons. The biggest thing I could, if I were to just give a tip, like for instance, if I were if I were going to go back in time and give myself some tips, here's some tips that I would give myself, right? The number one tip that I would give myself is work on you harder than anything else. Work on you. Read the books. Read every book you can get your hands on. Listen to every audio you can get your hands on. Take courses, to go to seminars, spend money, right? But continue to work on you, because it was when I realized that things started to change, when I started to not just realize it, but actually started to apply it. I mean, we say it all the time, but what good is it if we're not going to actually do it, right? Like with my team and my organization that we're a part of, for the longest time, we've always had a book of the month, and I've read most of those books. Right now, I can say some people in my organization, maybe they haven't read a lot of the books that are announced. But for me, it's been an absolute like necessity, right? Like I crave reading these books because I know who I get to become on the other side of it from reading it. I don't always like the reading. I fall asleep on my reading sometimes, a lot of times, right? But I do love who I become in the process of that, right? And so don't get me wrong, quite a bit of folks in our organization are reading the books, but I could just say, not even just in our organization, but in the company as a whole, or just society as a whole, most people don't read. Even though we know it's something we should do, most people don't work on themselves. And so that is the number one tip that I would give myself is to sell out to working on yourself. Because I remember when I thought that I was here to just save the world and just, you know, I was here to make everybody's life better, right? And it just didn't work that way. I mean, for me, I had to make sure that my boat was afloat so that I could help other people. You know how when you get on a plane, um, they tell you to put your oxygen mask on first, right? So that's what I was not doing in the beginning. I wasn't putting my oxygen mask on. I was just trying to go around and give everybody else an oxygen mask, and that's the recipe for disaster. So those are just a couple things. What else would I do? I would I would seek mentorship faster too, right? I would seek mentorship as quick as possible wherever I could get it. I would seek mentorship because if you got someone who's already achieved what you're looking to achieve and they could share with you exactly what they did, or even if it's just having lunch, or a 15-minute call or whatever, but I would just get every opportunity that I could. Like Napoleon Hill, he interviewed the most wealthiest people in the world at his time over 20 years, and then wrote the book Think and Grow Rich. I would do that in my own version, right? I would just spend time interviewing the most successful people that I could to find out, okay, what are the nuggets? Like, what's the story behind the story? How did you get the funding to start this project? Or what's the thing you don't tell everybody that you did to really get the success going, right? So those types of things I would do. I would sell out to the books, the audios, the courses, the seminars. I would get a mentor. But what else? What else would I do? If what would I tell myself if I was going back in time? I would say do more, right? One of my favorite books is The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone, and that's what I would probably say is do more, right? Like do more. Just when you thought you did enough, do a little bit more, right? Because volume matters. Volume is important. I tell my organization and my team a lot. It's not that you're either doing not enough or you're not doing it right. And most people are doing it right. They're just not doing enough, right? I mean, it takes a lot for success to happen, right? It takes a lot of no's. It takes a lot of knocking on doors. It takes a lot of ups and downs. It takes a lot of whatever you got to go through, but it just takes a lot to get on the other side. It's just if it didn't take a lot, then everybody would be on the other side. But the reality is that's not the case. And so you got to be the one, the beacon of light that just does more than everybody around you, right? And that's where that personal development comes in because you got to stay strong enough long enough. Because sometimes you're not going to see the results right out the gate, but you got to keep that activity going. That's why I came up with the quote, it is impossible to sow good seeds on good ground and not reap a harvest. It came from Galatians 6, 7 through 9, right? If you sow, you got to reap, right? But you just got to keep sowing. And so that's the biggest thing that I like to share. Just some things along my journey, but man, I've had so many ups and downs. I mean, I'm telling you, the the cars breaking down, not being able to pay rent, um, you know, getting a team going and then losing the whole team, getting some superstars who were killing it, making great income, and then something happened with them. You know what I mean? I can go on and on and on. I mean, I've had so many people who've jumped ship, who've abandoned, right? And you got to be in a good state of mind emotionally to not let that get to you. I always say, don't let the water get in your boat, right? And so, because as soon as you let the water get in the boat, that boat is going down. And so I had to find ways to keep myself going. Even, I mean, I'm talking best friends that what started off with me and didn't finish with me. I'm talking family members. I'm talking, you know, people who I grew to be like great friends with, like people who could be a brother or a sister. I mean, I can go on and on with the different people that I've been in relationship with, that I've worked with. But look, at the end of the day, you got to keep going because you know what one of my mentors says, nobody cares about your bills except you and the people you owe, right? And that's so true. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to do what's right for you. You got to make things happen for you. And so, look, if everybody's going one way, I was taught go the other way, right? Because most people are just not happy. Most people are just not living the lifestyle that they want. They're falling into normalcy. They're falling into average. And another good book that Grant Cardone wrote that I love is called "Be Obsessed or Be Average." And I was just obsessed with not being average, right? So I was willing to do whatever it took, short-term pain for long-term gain, pay now or play later. I chose to pay now, right? Because I'll have the rest of my life to play. And so, I know I'm kind of like maybe going on a rant a little bit, but I just wanted to share a couple things that were just on my heart on this journey. It's been a journey, man. It's been an amazing journey. But I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't change anything because if I did, perhaps I wouldn't be the person I am today. Perhaps I wouldn't be blessed to work with a lot of the people that I get to work with. I got folks in my organization that I really consider family, and that's what I love is this the culture that we've built and just the camaraderie and just the what we're working on. I love it, right? And so I wouldn't change a thing, and that's the key is enjoying the journey, right? Because life doesn't get better by chance, it gets better by change. And for things to change, we have to change. And if you want things to get better, you have to get better. And that is my resounding message that I'll share every single time, right? Is that there's so much more. We could do so much better, right? We deserve so much. I was just talking to one of my buddies, right? And we were just talking about, see, this is a lifestyle that I want to have, not just for me, but I want to have a crew of folks where we could just be like, "Hey, what we doing this week?" And they're like, "Hey, let's go down to Miami. Let's go to Vegas. Let's go to another country." Like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea, right? And look, we just on a plane, like on a plane to go do wherever and wherever, right? And we don't have to ask anybody. You know what I told them? I said, "Your whole goal, and you guys have heard this many times, but your whole goal is you want to have a lifestyle where you don't have to consult anybody, and you don't have to consult your bank account, right? Now, the only person you should consult is obviously the father, right? You got to consult him because it's got to be his will, right? That's number one. And then, of course, your spouse or your family, whoever you live with, whoever are accountable to, right? But at the end of the day, we shouldn't have to ask a boss how much we can earn. We shouldn't have to ask somebody how long we can vacation, how long we can have lunch. We shouldn't have to ask anybody those types of things. Not in the land of the free. Another thing one of my other mentors says is, and you guys have heard me say this a long time ago in a few like way in the beginning of the podcast, is that if you live in America and you don't own a business, you've given up your right to be free. And this whole podcast is about freedom, but freedom isn't free. You got to go through a lot of challenges, failure, ups and downs. You got to go through it all. But will you make it on the other side? Will you stay strong enough long enough? That's why I started off with what would I change? It would be personal development. Thankfully, I'm still here, but there's so many people along the way who aren't here because they didn't dive into the personal development. They couldn't stay strong enough long enough. And it's just such a blessing to be in this position, to be around all these years later. And look, we're just getting started, honestly. What I talked about, what we've accomplished, that's out the window. Like, look, we're gonna celebrate that, but at the same time, we're looking to create things that we've never done before, break records that we've never broken before. We're ready to do some things that are amazing, folks. And so come along for the journey, come along for the ride. We're going to keep sharing, we're going to keep adding value. And I appreciate you all for listening to this little rant on episode 114. Don't forget, join our Facebook group and our Facebook community and connect with us. On all the different platforms. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, TikTok, all that good stuff, LinkedIn. And let's connect. And hey, I look forward to sharing more nuggets to help you live the life that you're called to live and not the life that you have to live. This is another episode of Code Freedom, and can't wait to see you on the next one. Take care, take charge. We'll see you over the top because the bottom is too crowded. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for listening. Definitely feel free to take a screenshot of this episode, tag me in it on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you find me on social media. I would love to give you a shout out. Hey, you might even get a prize. Who knows? But excited that you had a chance to take a listen. I hope you got a lot of value. And definitely feel free to give us 5 stars as well as a review. Show us some love, and we appreciate you. God bless you all, and see you all over the top.